everybody. Welcome back to another TMI Moment. I am Terra, and it has been a whole entire moment since I've been on here live talking to you. I've had several people who have inboxed me and asked me, when are you going back live? And so I decided today that I'm gonna come on here live. Y'all know a year ago I wrote well, it's been over a year. It was last March 2020. I released my book, Finding Your Voice Inside of the Noise. And I didn't know at the time when I wrote the book and when it was released that it would bless so many people. And I thank God for those of you who have sent your testimonials to say that this book has been a blessing to you. But I've read the book for myself a few times as well. And it's a 30-day devotional journal. And one of the days that I was reading, it said, who are you? And one thing that I've learned to do, and this is just kind of my self-evaluation, it's kind of one of my self-evaluation tips. I write who I was, I write who I want to be, and I write who I am. And I just write some characteristics of who I am. And y'all know we have been going through, at the earlier part of 2021, we went through the ABCs of you, just talking about who are you, the foundational characteristics of who you are as a person, not and just your character, being a person of integrity, being someone who's authentic. And I was looking over my list, and that was one of the things that I put on my list, that I'm authentic, and I began to really dive deep in that. And I wanted to give you 4 things today. So I'm not going to be on here live, y'all. I'm going to give y'all 4 things, and then I'm going to get off. Y'all know I can talk, but I'm going to give y'all 4 things that authentic people do. Now, we all know somebody who seems to be very genuine. They're authentic, and they're just a positive person, and they live a happy life overall. I'm not saying that they don't go through difficult times, but they are just who they are. Anytime you see them, if you see them in a business meeting, they're the same person. If you see them in church, they're the same person. They know how to respond in different environments, but overall they're just authentically who they are. And sometimes when we've not quite reached that point, it's difficult for us to comprehend what they do to get there. And so I wanted to share with you 4 things that authentic people do. Number 1, they are truthful with themselves first. Authentic people are genuine, they are real, but mostly they are truthful with themselves. They don't try to be someone that they're not or please people that they don't know. Too many times we are on social media trying to make ourselves look like we're somebody that we're not, and then we go behind closed doors and we're suffering in silence because we have not authentically said who we are. Let that sit for a moment. See, authentic people in some ways know that they're unique, but they accept that about themselves. For an authentic person, being different is not an issue, nor is it something that they're trying to be. They're not trying to be different. They're just being themselves. Too many times, and I know it's easy to get caught up in the whole social media thing where we get on here and we try to look perfect. We try to, look like everything is just a bed of roses. Now, I'm not saying that you need to share all of your information. I'm not saying that you need to tell everybody all your business. You don't have to give us from A to Z what your day has been like. But there's a difference between sharing your moments with people and then kind of fudging those moments, trying to make it seem as if it's something that it's not. If you want to be authentic, you have to learn how to be first truthful with yourself. Know that, okay, yes, I am striving to be a success, but sometimes there are some slip ups, there are some mistakes. Y'all saw the other day I posted me and my daughter was making macaroons. Now overall it was a success because the texture, the taste, and all that good kind of stuff was there, but they were not perfect. And I started to just post the ones that were like the perfect size, the ones that were kind of like, but no, I was like, let's show them everything, because reality is all the time everything does not come out cookie cutter perfect, and that's okay. And we have to learn how to be okay with that. Look, tip number 2, because y'all know I get to talking. Tip number 2: authentic people do what they love. Authentic people always love doing what they enjoy doing. Okay. And they don't try to copy others' ideas for the sake of being successful. There are, we're living in a world now that everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone, and that's okay. If you're not an entrepreneur, that is okay, because entrepreneurs need a team. We need people who you may not be the CEO, but you may be an awesome administrative assistant. You may be awesome with handling technical details or handling the IT work. That's okay. If you're not the one that's supposed to be the one running the business, that's okay. But if you are supposed to be the one that's running the business, don't try to be a administrative assistant. Do what you love doing. The success of what you do will come from you doing what's in your heart to do, what drives you, as opposed to what inspires someone else or what inspired the majority. We have a lot of people doing a lot of things. I'm not going to call out the different things that are the trend now for everybody to want to do, but everybody is not called to do that, and it's not for everyone to do it. When you do the things that you love, you are being authentic. You are exposing the best version of yourself. And that's why it's so fulfilling. Why you're not fulfilled in your job may be that you decided to do something that someone else was doing. They made it look glamorous because maybe authentically, that's what they love to do. But when I can't be you. You can't be me. And when I try to be someone else, then I find myself being frustrated. I find myself being confused. I find myself having anxiety because I'm trying to do something and be something that I'm not. Okay, tip number 3. Authentic people are in tune with their inner child. Another way to reconnect with your true and authentic self is to rediscover your inner child, the one that didn't care about what others thought. Y'all know how children are. Try to be more like your inner child and awaken that aspect of you that you knew when you were young, but somehow you disconnected from that when you're growing up. Take the time to play again, to make mistakes, to forgive, and try something else. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and do what your heart tells you to do, no matter what others think. And most of all, learn to live in the present moment. Listen, y'all, when I was a child, I was very outspoken. I was like, but it was as a child doesn't know, and a child is taught. And my parents were trying to teach me. They really were. But I was just kind of, I was just my own. I did what I wanted to do, and a lot of times I would know, well, if I'm gonna get a whooping, this whooping I'm gonna make it worth that whooping. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make it worth the whooping. Okay. But I was that headstrong about what it was that I wanted to do. But then somehow, as I grew up, because of rejection, because of how other people perceived me, because I wasn't able to be in the circle of friends that I thought I needed to be in if I wasn't acting a certain way, I began to change who I was, and I stopped embracing that inner child in me. And then I became this person who was timid, who was afraid to be who I was, to this person who was afraid to speak up and to say, if I felt something was wrong, I was going to say it. Whether anybody else in the room agreed with me or not, as a child, I was going to say it. Anybody who knows me on here, y'all could testify. Y'all can let them know that's how I was. But then somehow when I grew up, I grew out of that and I began to hold back on my feelings. Now, I started holding back in that area, but then I also began to hold back in other areas as well. And I lost that inner child. It wasn't until I began to see, you remember the list that I said about, I wrote down who I was, who I want to be, and who I am now. Well, when I began to look at who I was, everything on that list wasn't bad. And I began to, some of the who I wanted to be in past years was different than who I was. I was trying to change everything about who I was. But no, all I needed to do was I had to fine tune some of that. I had to give that some direction so that I would know how to actually be. And I began to embrace who I was, because who I was is it was going to help me become who I need to be. and who I'm supposed to be. And so that outspokenness, that boldness to stand up on my own, that boldness to be a trailblazer, that boldness to do something that maybe everybody else is not doing in a way that everybody else is not doing it, that boldness I needed for this moment right here. This moment for me rebranding and me relaunching my business, I need that same boldness. So I had to go back and grab that little girl and say, come on, I need you. I need to embrace that. And some of you need to do the same thing. And tip number 4 of things that authentic people do, they don't compare themselves with others. And this is the big thing. This is huge. And I know from experience that it can be difficult. One of the best ways to connect with your authentic self is to stop comparing yourselves to others. When you compare yourself with others, you automatically feed a belief that you should be like someone else, that being yourself is not enough. And this limits you from being yourself and making it okay. It's more than okay. It's actually what I'm supposed to be. It's actually the best. Being who I'm supposed to be, being who you're supposed to be is more than enough. It's more than okay. Most of us often compares ourselves with others because we have this belief that others have it better than we do. And then sometimes this transforms into envy or jealousy, or it just transforms us into being less than who we really are. You know, sometimes there's a quote, I hope I can quote it right. It says, sis or bruh, while you out here while you out here being intimidated by who you are, somebody else is being inspired by who you are. It says something like that. I know I kind of jacked that up. I can't remember because I wasn't really planning on saying that. But that thought came to me. While we're out here afraid of being our authentic self, thinking that we're not enough, there's somebody looking at you wishing they could be you. When in actuality, they need to be wishing they could be themselves. Too many times we look at somebody else and we see their success stories, and look, let me caution you, if you seeing their success stories on Facebook, it may, or Instagram or YouTube, it may not be the actual reality. You know, and some people may be telling the truth, but at the same time, you don't know what they had to go through to get to where they are. And so while you're trying to be who they are, learn to embrace learn to embrace the life experiences that you have to go through. Learn how to work through the life experiences you have to go through, and learn how to make that a building block for being the authentic you. Learn to find your voice inside of the noise. Listen, y'all, I told y'all I wasn't going to be on here very long, and so I'm going to stop right there. I'll be back on here for another TMI moment. Listen, but if you haven't picked up the book, y'all, go get the book. Go get the book. It will inspire you. Listen, you can get it at my website, www.askTMI.com. I have the physical books available. I have the ebook. However, you can get it on my website. I also have the ebook available on Amazon as well, so you can do that as well. I am so excited about what's coming up with TMI. Y'all got to stay tuned because we are rebranding the whole thing. I'm getting ready to open it up so that I can take more clients, and so I'm excited about putting all that information out there within the coming week. So y'all stay tuned. More is to come. I am still here. I am still working. I am still doing all the things that I have been doing. I just haven't been putting it all out on. I haven't been keeping it a secret. No, it's not a secret. No. But it has been a time where I have been making sure that whenever you hear me talking on this live, whenever you see me posting, or whenever you see me doing whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to make sure that it's authentic. If nothing else, I don't want to manipulate anyone into following me. I don't want to try to coerce you into following me by being something that I'm not, because at the end of the day, that's too much work for me. Now, I decided to become my own business owner because I was tired of working hard for somebody else's plan, trying to make their vision and all that to come forth. And then for me to come and work hard to build something that ain't real. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's not why I decided to be a business owner. I decided to be a business owner because I feel like God has called me to do some things, and in order for me to do it, I had to build it so that I could help others to do what God has placed, and I could pour out into others what God has placed on the inside of me. So listen, I'm gonna be when you see these posts, when you see these lives, you best to believe that I am living it. I am walking through it, just like with this book. I don't just do it just this one time just to put out some content. Okay, content just to be putting out content. What good is that going to do? You know, if I'm not living it, if I'm not walking it myself. And so I have found my voice. I am finding my voice inside of the noise, because the noise keep going on. So you have to, it's a continual process. You got to keep working at this thing. It's not something that is a one and done, because in life, there are levels to this thing. You know, and so I want to walk with you in those levels. I want you to stick with me. Know that I love y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you who are following me. Again, make sure you like and share this video. If this blessed you, let me know. I will see you the next time. Y'all remember, this is a day that the Lord has made. Make a conscious, calculated decision to rejoice and be glad in it. See you next time.